So, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Den Truman, by name, True Man by nature. His videos he's been putting up recently have been absolutely amazing, and sort of inspired this one. So it's Sunday morning, I'm sat here, I'm about to carry on building a dry stone wall that I'm doing for someone on their estate. And I've been thinking about GPMS and some of the things that have gone on and the conversations that have been had in the recent weeks about GPMS. And there's two things I'd like to address today. One is to people who are new to GPMS, who just come across it, who have questions. There's a lot of questions that get asked about GPMS when they first find out about it. One of them is, what will we do when there's no money? What is the medium of exchange? What is the currency by which people do things, get up in the morning to do things for other people? And it's a funny question. It's obviously born out of the fact that we've grown up understanding, or feeling that we understand, that people do things for money, so that when they have that money they can do things for themselves. That's pretty much the scenario. People do things for other people to earn money, which is essentially energy credits, so that they can use those energy credits to do things for themselves. I think that's the simplest way to put it. So the question is then, when we get rid of that money, those energy credits, what takes its place? How do things get done? What are the motivations? I'm not going to go into details about that because you could probably talk for hours on that subject. What I will do is give an example. The idea came up that, what if GPMS happened tomorrow? Regardless of how and the ins and outs, let's just say that in 24 hours, the globe, everybody on it, voted for GPMS, and it was instigated immediately and money was gotten rid of. What would then happen? What would be the medium of exchange? How would things get done? When I asked that scenario and ran it through my head, this wall that I'm building became an example. I'm building this wall, you could say, in order to get energy credits so that I could do things for myself. I enjoy building walls, but if the question was to be asked to me, what would you rather be doing now with your time? If money was no object, would I be building this wall? Blank answer would be no, without any context. However, if GPMS was to happen tomorrow, and all of a sudden there was no need to do things for other people, for energy credits, so that I could do things for myself, I would still turn up the next day and continue to build this wall. Why? Because when I play the what would we use instead for currency game, or money game, the best answer I've so far been able to come up with is integrity for me. I told this man, who I'm building the wall for, that I would build this wall. And so I will. In its most simplest form, I consider myself to be a man of my word. As a friend of mine who I've recently made and met has said, when you put on the uniform of integrity and you've worn it for a time, just a short time, people will have to kill you to get it off you again. It's powerful. So for me, in the new world, integrity will be the number one currency from my perspective. Will you do those things you say you do? will you do them to the degree and standard that you say you will do them? So I'll leave it on that one. The second part of this is to the people who've been on board with GPMS, who are fully on board and have come on and are contributors and are looking to help spread the GPMS message and get this done. I think the simplest way to put this across, from a conversation that was being had last night, was take it upon yourself. Take it, for those like me who are of a biblical bent, Christian bent, take it upon thyself. So if you find yourself in a position where you are about to speak the sentence, have you thought about, or should we, maybe, or anything along those lines, stop yourself and change those sentences to, have I considered doing this? I should do this. Not we should do this. I should do this. If you come up with an idea and you think it's a good idea, if you come across somebody who you think is worthwhile reaching out to, you do that thing, you reach out to that person. Take it upon thyself. There are no leaders in GPMS. This isn't a hierarchical structure. It's an organic growth network. There will be leaders, and the discussion has come up about what constitutes a leader in this scenario, when there is no hierarchy, when there is no, when there are no managers, chiefs, head honchos, whatever you want to call it. What then is a leader? A leader is someone who takes it upon thyself. They take it upon themselves. Now this shouldn't be a hard concept. And to put this into perspective and into context, myself being one of the most guilty of this, but I see it everywhere I look around. We take things on ourselves all the time, and all our lives we've been taking things on ourselves. But the things we've been taking on ourselves have been the pains of the world, the dramas of those around us, the suffering of those around us. We've taken upon ourselves the opinions of other people, and in taking upon ourselves the opinions of other people, the sufferings of the world, the injustices, that has bent and deformed the shape of our lives into things that we do not want for ourselves, but have felt we must bear the cross of. So we are not strangers to taking things upon ourselves. What we seem to be strangers to is taking the right things upon ourselves. We take all of those negative things upon ourselves without even a single thought to ask anybody else whether we should, whether it's right, whether it's a good thing to do. Yet when it comes to positive things to take upon ourselves, actions towards spreading GPMS, for instance, ideas of how we can do that, the immediate reaction seems to be to reach out for confirmation to other people, to, I don't know, maybe seek approval, to gain reassurance that it is the right thing to do. We don't just think twice about it, we think 100 times about it and reach out for as many confirmations and outside affirmations as possible. It's funny that, isn't it? If we, as contributors to GPMS, were to as easily and without doubt, without restraint, take upon ourselves all of those positive actions, the moment we was to have the notions of them and the inspirations of them, immediately, without thinking twice, 3, 4, 100 times and reaching for outside confirmation, if we were to take on upon ourselves those positive things with the same ease and fervour we have taken upon us with the sufferings and opinions of others that we've taken upon ourselves throughout our lives, if we were to flip that on its head, how quickly do you think GPMS would happen? It's just a thought. So I'll sign off with this video by showing you the wall that I'm building. And to me, this wall, quite a while ago now, stopped representing energy credits that I will earn so that I can do the things I want to do. As I build this wall, it now represents to me a symbol of my integrity. It's a symbol of what I look to see and be an example of in the new world to come.